Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is going to appear nationwide on May 5th. So Adan and I are going to review Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, or Guardians of the Galaxy as it was called back then. It was rated 92% by the critics and 92% by the audience as of today. Still, come and get your love. Come and get your love. Hey. Welcome back, guys, to Tales of Two Bros. I am Angel,
I'm Adan.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoilers. Guardians of the Galaxy, directed by and written by James Gunn, came out in 2014, almost 10 years into the third film. Even though we did get a holiday special, this is their third film. And I guess it will be what, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, seventh time together as the team.
Oh, because of the Avenger films and
Avengers, Thor, the special here. So yeah. Did you get a chance to rewatch?
I did.
How do you feel after seeing it now? That was 9 years ago.
I forgot like how brutal some of the scenes could have that were. Like when you first meet Ronan and he like crushes the guy's head, and like I want to say like Blade style, where they collected the blood into like an artifact or something like that. And I'm like, oh, not remember that.
We don't see him crush the guy's head. We see it about to happen.
It was close enough that you'd be like, yeah, that was going to happen.
No, true. I understand. Like, you know, we get the gist of what's going to happen to the guy. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't. They don't go like full like onto it. Now, before we get into the movie, though, I want to go to James Gunn real quick because I know he is connected to another franchise that you love, and I don't know why or how you got into this grotesque, gothic, gory love affair with this genre, but he used to work with Troma Films, Toxic Avenger. You are a huge fan of Toxic Avenger. You had the toys, you watched the cartoons, you saw the movies. I don't know how you could hold and saw the movies because I saw the first one. I was like, oh my God.
I remember watching the movies. I it was like on USA or HBO, like heavily censored, and I remember the movies. I watched the cartoons more often, and I remember the video game. Did I have the toys? I don't remember having the toys.
I think you had a toy or something like that.
I had the Swamp Thing toys.
No, I think I got you a Toxic Avenger toy.
Ooh, okay.
I think so. I don't know where it is now.
I don't know where it is either. The first movie was they're trying to. It kind of went down like the road of Chucky, where it got more and more ridiculous comedy wise. Like there was a movie where he went to Japan and he ended up fighting like a mutant swordfish, and then he fought the devil.
I used to watch it myself. You probably watched it because I used to watch it.
There you go. That's the truth. It's your fault.
But I'm just saying, like I don't know how, because I mean, those movies were like so like it was direct to DVD.
Yes.
Direct to VHS. We'll go back to Guardians in a moment, but remember the first thing, it was like how this one guy gets his head smashed at the gym.
Oh, between the plates.
Right. And they show a slow motion.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is so gross. And I was like, I'm surprised it's not NR, like non-rated, you know?
Yeah.
Or NC-17. It was just over the top, grotesque, not needed. Toxic Avenger was nasty. He was kind of like the character from Goonies, but like
grosser.
Up to 11.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I do remember more as we're talking about it. USA would have it like late night viewings, and like you know when you watch a movie late night and they'll like don't get censored as much. So I would find movies on USA Network and watch those and stay up, or like on HBO or Cinemax, and they'll just have them. And it was like the worst films you could possibly watch, but somehow they're there.
Well, going back to here and James Gunn, how he pretty much got started was with Troma Studios. He was a screenwriter. He wrote Tromeo and Juliet. Neither did I. The Toy Collector. And actually, the founder of Troma is in Guardians. He makes a cameo as one of the prisoners in the orange jumpsuits.
Oh, I did not see that.
Well, I did when I saw the thing. And I actually did a scene with a small budget movie with him, Troma.
Oh, really?
Yes, I played a porn star.
That sounds par for the course.
Hey.
I'm talking about for Troma.
Yeah, well, the thing is, no, it was just like, I was supposed to be like a porn star guy, and I just walked in, I'm showing my butt, and that was it. I mean, it was so like low key and whatever, I didn't even get credit for it.
He just wanted you for your butt.
No, well, yeah, I guess so, but it was just, yeah, but he was right here. He was filming a scene. He was like, let's get ready. And it took like 20 takes because they didn't tell me when to walk in. And I was like, well, walk in soon. I was like, but when do I hear it? Like, when's the line that I know to go in? He's like, can you do it again? Can you walk out? I was like, whatever. So it took like 20 takes, but he was a good sport about it, Troma.
Yeah, he was a producer, right, for Troma? Lloyd Kaufman?
Yeah, so him. I was like that little, I don't remember the name of the movie. It was like, again, like really, but it may be, people who are a fan of Lloyd, they probably know what movie he was in.
You didn't want to get a copy of that movie? You'd be like, that's my ass.
No, I'm okay. No. So he makes an appearance. This is James Gunn's biggest project to that date. And now he's done so much other things. Now he's one of the heads of DC Entertainment.
For the upcoming series of films, yeah.
I just rewatched it today. I have to say I fell asleep. It didn't grab me as it originally did.
How many times have you watched it prior to this time?
Like 4 times since it released.
Okay.
It didn't grab me as strongly as it originally did. Rocket was awesome, played by Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love that character. He's a damaged soul. They're all damaged pretty much. Every character is damaged here.
I mean, that's how they're supposed to be, for the comic, but they're all broken in one aspect or another.
Peter Quill, played by Chris Pratt, his mother, there's some theory where it's the same woman, because the same actress who was in Captain America, Captain America dances with, or she asks him for a dance, and he turns her down, and then she's here, and then also she's in the second one as well, Galaxy's Volume 2, and I'm jumping around again, here I go again, but when seeing this again, and seeing Peter Quill's grandfather, and I was like, holy crap, he could be the replacement for Thunderbolt Ross, Greg Henry.
That could have been Thunderbolt Ross.
It could have been, not that they could have been related, but I'm saying he had that look. He had the same hairstyle.
He's played military roles before, I want to say.
Well, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is like, even though he's already played a Marvel character as the grandfather of Peter Quill, that unfortunately he can't be Thunderbolt Ross because now it's going to be played by Harrison Ford because William Hurt passed away.
Yeah. And
he's so close to looking like William Hurt in the ass. I just give him a mustache, keep him still having that wig. But anyway, I just thought that I saw him. I was like, damn it, that could have been him. But for me, Rocket Raccoon, every scene he was in, I loved. And I get it said they're all damaged. Peter doesn't have a family. Gamora doesn't have a family. Drax doesn't have a family.
Literally.
Raccoon doesn't have a family. They're all like orphans come together.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Groot has a family. I think his family species got.
I want to say like his species is like he's the last of his species right at this point. The whole formation of the group is like family is not by blood.
It's Fast and Furious.
But better.
A lot better.
Yeah.
A lot better. I also did enjoy Ronan.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people I remember didn't like Ronan. I kind of did.
Oh, I did. He was a force to reckon with. His presence, his voice. I mean, he's in the Hobbit series.
That's the same dude?
Yep. Lee Pace.
Did not recognize him.
And then you have, I won't say he's a cameo, but he has a small role in this. He's the voice of Darth Maul from the prequels or the Phantom Menace. And he's also in Shaun of the Dead. He played the roommate.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Tick.
Denarian Saul.
He played the Tick.
Yes, he played the Tick as well. Correct.
He's like, what a bunch of a-holes.
Right.
And he was also not the concierge, but the sommelier.
John Wick Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Yes. What about you? Do you have a great or favorite moment in this series or this movie?
There's a lot of small moments that really add up that to be memorable moments. Like the jailbreak scene. Rocket's like describing what he needs for a plan. And Groot just goes up and steals it, and we're like, "We'll just improvise right now."
Everything's happening in the foreground.
Or we're like when they first meet each other, they're all trying to steal the orb from each other, and Rocket's like, "It's the small things in life that I enjoy. just like how much this is gonna hurt. And he shoots Quill with the taser, which the best name I have for it. I love seeing Howard the Duck.
Yes, at the end.
The Collector is like drinking a drink amongst his rebel stuff. There's Howard the Duck there with another drink.
And he's like, how do you let that dog just lick you like that?
And that's Cosmo the dog. Of
course, there's like full of Easter eggs here if you're a fan of the Marvel universe, and especially a fan of Guardians, because it's all tied in. Granted, they make him more of a hero here, where in the comics he's more of a bad guy. He's like an anti-hero.
No, you mean Star-Lord?
Star-Lord, yes.
I can see that.
And it's kind of cool. We see here how he got his name, Star-Lord. It wasn't that the Ravagers gave him that. He had that from his mother.
Yeah.
That was his nickname from her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the coolest scenes for me was the arrow.
Oh, absolutely. When he finally uses the arrow?
Yeah, Yondu's arrow. That was cool. I was trying to remember, like, when does this happen? I was like, the movie's almost over. And I was like, oh, there it is. He's like a cowboy.
He has a holstered.
It comes right out and he just whistles and it's just totally badass. You have Djimon Hounsou, the guy who's like cross plays DC and Marvel. He's Korath here.
Yeah.
The Wizard, Shazam, in the movie Shazam, and Shazam Fear of the Gods. I was like, ugh, all right, over and over. And then he reprised the role again, playing the same character in the What If series.
Yep.
It is what it is, but damn. Like,
he has a very iconic voice, though.
No, true, I understand, but you know how I feel about actors being recycled in the comic book genre.
I do know how you feel about that.
Now, you have Sean Gunn here, who plays Kraglin, but also he was Rocket on set.
Yes, he did the motion capture for Rocket.
Well, I hope he got paid twice. But yeah, he's always been like James Gunn, like right-hand man to get some things done. He was Weasel.
Yes, he was a Weasel. What was the scene that stuck out to you? That was memorable? Oh, just that?
That was the coolest one. I also like when the Nova Corps locked ships together. They made like a blanket, like a net.
Like a force field?
Yeah, but it was more like a net because how they wrapped around Ronan's ship.
Yeah, that was
pretty cool, I thought. Granted, it didn't last long. I would love to have seen Nova.
That was one of the things that I remember, like, when watching the movie, and a lot of people, including myself, were like, okay, we have Nova Corps, but we have no Novas. Yeah,
well, we had the soldiers like dressed like him.
But that's the Corps.
I understand, but it would just been cool. Like, was he away on a mission? Or that it didn't happen yet for him, what have you. So I was just like, it'll be cool. Hopefully he'll show up maybe on Volume 3.
Maybe.
We also have hints of Adam Warlock. He's the feature in Volume 3. But we see a cocoon of his in the Collector's vaults.
Well, I thought a cocoon was in episode 2.
True, I know, but it's referred that in a case, there's a cocoon that's like already opened, already broken through.
So it's hinted out. The same hint is given in both films.
Correct, but in different types. Like there was like maybe one transformation, that cocoon, and then that little gold coffin. That's another transformation of Adam Warlock. Maybe he had a metamorphosis a few times before it becomes what we see in Volume 3. Is there a weak point?
I mean, Yondu was a great character. I like the fact with the whole type of the trolls.
Oh yeah, he's like he loves trinkets.
Yeah,
kind of like that. Like he has a little less like a souvenir stuff. The weak point was the dance at the end.
That was the thing that everybody loved. Wait, are we talking about the Groot dance, or are we talking about like
Footloose? It went a little bit too long, in my opinion. That's all.
Where he's like, what are you doing?
It was all distraction. I get it.
I mean, Ronan doesn't look like a dancer.
He does not, and he didn't. I don't know. The whole thing was just a little weird. In a sense, like they all come together to join Peter Quill. They're pretty much ready to sacrifice themselves because they saw what happened with when someone holds onto the stone, they freaking blow up from the inside out. Pretty much, they were willing to sacrifice themselves to that. And you would think originally that is because their bond together, their sacrifice or the willingness to sacrifice is what saved them. But we find out 5 minutes later that Peter Quill he's half-breed.
I mean, it still probably could have killed him, but it helped. I mean, technically, like the same situation could be said about Ronan. Ronan technically didn't wield the power himself because it was burning him out. He needed his hammer to channel it. So all it did was like everybody else connecting to him was dispersing, thinning out the power. Which is hard to say mentally for me because you have a stone that's by definition infinite power. So how do you thin that out? Unlimited power.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make sense. Like, granted, this is before we see what happens
Yeah, we don't know about Ego at this stage, or.
But I'm talking about the stones itself. Like, we don't know how. Like, I don't think Marvel knew how to describe or present each stone.
I mean, cinematically, I could see where that would be a difficult thing. They knew how to describe it. It was in the comic books for like 20, 30 years prior to it.
Do you have a weak moment?
I want to say when they were back on Nowhere, and it's getting to that low time, and when he's talking about Footloose, Kevin Bacon, I was like, it's cute and whatnot, but it's just...
Well, granted, remember, he just has, limited knowledge of remembers of stuff. And it was also that led to the Christmas special.
No, I know it all goes full circle from there. Like, I was more into like Rocket when they were gambling, and like and Drax, and then they're like, your raccoon is like, there is no one other than me. He's like, you take that back.
Yeah, but he was so tragic, heart-wrenching.
I mean, he's always been that way, even in the comics. Like his backstory is like really messed up.
Right, and I think they're going to go into it more in Volume 3.
Should be, yeah.
Now, there's one thing I really have a problem with, and it didn't dawn on me, like, I guess after watching it this time, is that Peter Quill has a Walkman.
No batteries.
That's it. Where does the battery come from? Like, it's like, how does this thing still stay juiced?
I mean,
after what? After over 20 years.
As much technology is out there in space, like, I'm sure there's a way to recharge those batteries or just use a supplement.
Then if that's the case, why have the same Walkman? You can have a machine or a contraption that can still play the tapes, or like we did, transfer tape to CD. You know what I'm saying? It's like it locks in.
At that time, he wasn't aware what CDs were, so he had to use something different. And the tape was a gift from his mother. He didn't want to stop using the actual item.
Doesn't tape run out after a while, after so much replay?
Oh no, it kind of gets worn out. Like the tape could snap or get eaten up by the Walkman. How many times do you remember like just walking around with a Walkman and you hear and you're like shit, and like it's eating the Walkman tape.
You gotta get a pencil to rewind the tape to make sure it gets back inside the casing.
You got to be patient with it, because if you do it too fast, you're just making it worse.
Exactly. And that's us after a few months, let alone 20 years.
Yep.
He has a doohickey that goes behind the ear that puts on a mask, but he doesn't have a doohickey that puts on the headphones that's like that goes into the ear, and like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
mind you, we're saying like 20 years. The story is set like in 2010, right? Or 20, like...
No, it's longer. It's like in the 80s.
No, that I'm saying, like, when we're watching Guardians.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Back,
So, but when they took it was 1988. Those headphones would never have lasted that long.
That's what I'm saying.
The foam on those headphones
would have been deteriorated.
Yeah, those things erode so hard. Right.
And they haven't been back to Earth since they picked them up.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's where my little like disconnect happens. I was like, wait a minute. Same Walkman, in great condition, by the way. No scuffs.
Yeah.
No like wear and tear.
I believe that's the Sony Walkman you had too, right?
They're meant to last, but come on.
I still have my Sony Walkman somewhere in the attic. I know it. That thing will probably play.
No, I'm not saying it wouldn't play, but I'm just saying, like, if he's on this person while he's on his adventures, it would not be so clean. It would have been beaten up. That the headphones would have deteriorated. The bar would have been all bent. The rim, whatever.
Yeah, that's because they use the flimsiest metal. And yes, you're right. There's been plenty of headphone sets that I've gotten that were like, why is this bent this way?
That's all I'm saying. Grant, okay, I understand that he wants to keep the Walkman because it's attached to his mother, all that stuff. But why not then have an adapter, or whatever, where you can have Bluetooth, all that stuff? Because they can, again, they were talking to each other from one ship to another easily. They were doing all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like the technology is there, but not for this thing. That was the only thing that got me. It was like took me out of the film. That little thing. Like, I can't believe that. Okay, yeah, there's a talking raccoon. There's a freaking tree that's growing. There's an alien revenge band. All this stuff.
Yeah.
But I could believe that. But that Walkman just took me out of it.
That's a good call out, though.
Is it worth the watch? Yes, it is worth the watch.
Own?
Is it worth the what?
To own?
Definitely for own, because of for me, the behind the scenes, because of how they have Rocket Raccoon and how they integrate that. You have Vin Diesel getting paid up the yin yang to say 3 lines.
4. He also
3 words.
He also says we.
Well, true, but I'm just saying, like, it's just pretty much 3 words. I am Groot. We are Groot. But he says it differently, of course, and I think he also
5
says
words,
it.
Yeah.
What 5 words?
Because it's R.
We are Groot. We are Groot. We are Groot.
I am.
That's 3.
I am. We are.
Groot. I am Groot. Huh? What are you talking about?
So I am Groot.
Yes.
We are Groot. It's 5 words. Groot he uses twice. I'm just being technical.
Okay. But still 3 words. Still 3 words. It's just 2 lines. I am Groot. We are Groot.
Yeah.
And I'm about to say that he does it also in different languages. So he got paid to do it like in Spanish, Italian, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, fine.
That's a good paycheck.
I did like also John C. Reilly.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah, him. It was kind of cool to see him there. The amazing Glenn Close playing the
Nova Prime, yes. Benicio del Toro, the collector.
Yes, he was awesome as well.
I mean, the action was still pretty good too.
Oh, the action was really good. I will give it that. It was, especially with Gamora and Nebula.
Yeah.
Bumping of the heads of like Cain and Abel, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's worth the watch, worth the own, price of admission. James Gunn does tell a great story. This is better than Avengers. I believe this is better than Avengers in a sense of like how different people come together for one cause or one purpose.
Yeah. I mean, well, the difference is Avengers took like 5 or 6 films to get everybody together to make one.
No, that's true. But what I'm saying though is still in a sense 5 different people.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
5. So it's kind of like the same thing. What I don't like about Avengers, among many things, but in a sense, besides Black Widow, they all had their own film.
And Hawkeye. He did have his own film.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're correct. Hawkeye. But everyone else, they had their own film where they ended as a better person than when they started in the movie. They had a thing to overcome, be it ego, be it weak, being not to believe in oneself, all that stuff. They overcame it and they became a better person. And then in Avengers, they're all acting like they're still like egotistical.
Yeah, they didn't really grow.
Granted, it could be, they say, influence of Loki or the Scepter.
Oh, you're talking about that one scene, yeah.
I just find the Age of Ultron better movie than the first Avengers. That's just my opinion.
I mean, that's a controversial opinion. I know people that would be like, you're wrong.
Yeah, I know, but this is me. And plus, I hate the costume in the original Captain America's costume in Avengers. He's wearing spandex.
I don't think anybody liked that first one.
But anyway, we're off tangent again. All right, guys. That is our marvelous review of Guardians of the Galaxy. Let us know what you thought about it. Do you like it? Do you have a favorite moment or a moment like, eh? Let us know. Also, if you have a movie for us to review or a show, please email us at talesoftvbros@gmail.com or leave a comment below. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adon.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.